the double tree. They've started with 1. Do we just get the second tree immediately? Is the question. Kind of similar to what we saw last time. And they are going to ban the Ezreal. So, yeah, I think this makes sense. Rumble ban coming up for Home Life Esports, no real surprise. Probably see the Ashe come through as well. Going to go for the Sejuani first, so maybe Ashe on 3. Otherwise, T1 could pick that up themselves. And again, even though we don't really see it flexed as much anymore, still could. They've actually gone for the Tristana ban, so throwing focus towards Ivan does put a bit higher prio on the Corki.
Yeah.
But I feel like Honor Life could just play the Yone.
They definitely could. We might see that. It does feel like the Corki Yone matchup has been happening a bit more nowadays with teams banning away Tristana, and I know this is a lot of T1 fans are calling for the Tristana to be banned and for Faker to play something else, but this is another thing they've been calling for. No more Ivern for Owner, and especially in this spot, you don't want to pick it. It's first pick Nidalee, like we're back to week 1.
Yeah, and I mean, Owner's had some really good games on this. You know, I feel like there was just situations where you got a lot of POG points racked up from him taking over games in the back of the Nidalee. Very momentum-based pick, and I think the way T1 plays best is really when they drive on the strength of their side lanes. You know, look to find pressure there and look to take over the game, and Owner can really do that with this, but it's going to be a quick response with the Vi. It looks like they're considering the Renekton follow-up as well. Don't think Zeus will be too bothered by this, but I think they're just mostly denying the Renekton Nidalee combo. Obviously very potent. Could possibly see Zeus go Gnaw into it, but instead going for the Zeri. So not only picking up the Zeri, but also the Vi. You know, a lot of team fighting power, a lot of shutdown potential for whatever AD carry T1 goes. So in those 5v5s, already Honor Life Esports is feeling pretty scary. We'll see what T1 opt for here.
You could go ahead and pick your bottom lane if you really wanted to shut down Viper and pick a Nautilus with it, but that's not really what we see in the meta nowadays. A lot more focus on the top side of the map, especially if Ezreal is not available. And it is going to be Renekton chosen. So Renekton Nidalee, the duo, returns to the LCK.
Yep, so all in on the Nidalee, all in on making that work, have the setup for it in the top lane. So going to be interested to see what Doran opts to pick that he feels safe on there. I think Corki makes sense, you know, with the Tristana gone, priority's higher on that pick. So the top side locked in for T1 and means that damage spread is fine. The Nidalee going to provide the AP. And Honor Life Esports toying with the idea of a mid pick here. You know, Tilia Vi has been really strong. They opt to go for that. It does mean, you know, so much single target takedown. And the thing is, with the Zeri on your team, you have so much momentum after that first kill with the cleanup potential. So I feel like the team fighting is the investment for Honor Life Esports. Really, the laning is the investment for T1. And sort of trying to hamstring some more of the laning strength from T1. We see the Kalista ban come through. I think if I was T1, probably target things that Doran would want to play in the top lane. Maybe the Cassante, maybe even something like the Gnaw. Although to be fair, Gnaw into Renekton Nidalee, you can target quite heavily.
Orange buff, literally. You just dive them over and over and you collect that buff. They're still going to ban it away. I think that a lot of teams are really highly rating Gnaw right now, and they say, well, we just don't want him to have his hands on that regardless.
Yeah, it makes sense. Xayah ban I like as well. Obviously, able to avoid the pressure from the Vi. T1 go for the Rakan ban in this situation. I'm kind of interested to see, you know, since you already know the top lane matchup, I think they pick for Doran here. They could just take the Cassante. It'd really round out the comp nicely, and then they could save the Lights pick and see what T1 end up taking. But instead, looks like they're toying with the idea of the Jax. Obviously, you know, the Counter-Strike, really useful tool if you're getting Dove, can block the stun from Zeus and make the setup harder. So I do think it makes a decent amount of sense, especially since T1, presuming they pick an AD carry here, are going to be very auto-attack heavy. And it looks like they're looking at the Kai'Sa. They could just go Kai'Sa Nort in this situation. Would give them an answer for the Zeri in those team fights. And more setup for the Nidalee. Also works well in terms of poke, you know, between the Kai'Sa, the Corki, and the Nidalee. If you can't get on top of T1, a lot of pressure. But they instead opt for the Leona here. Obviously, Leona being super strong, but does mean later on, you know, cleanse, QSS options that Viper can take against it. And Delight will just lock it as Alistar. I don't think that's much of a surprise.
Alistar very strong right now. It is 20-10 in terms of win rate. And it's just really good into engage. And you look at the side of T1, they have the Renekton and the Leona, things you're going to want to push away, but also you have further setup for your composition to get that Zeri going.
Yeah, and sometimes Alistar can struggle in comparison to like a Nautilus or Leona because his engage isn't as long range. You know, you have to be in W range. If you have Flash, then Sheer. But they have a Vi. So all those concerns about, hey, they have a poke-heavy composition, we might be out of range, the Vi can easily solve those. So I think team fighting power, without a doubt, goes in favor of Hololive Esports. The main thing I'm looking at is what can this Nidalee do? Can they just slow the pace of the game down and get into those 5v5s?
I'm glad we get a draft like this for game number 1 because it does feel like T1 have come in with a totally new plan. You see it right from the bans. They're not going for the same style that they played in the last couple of matchups, and they're trying to play their own style. They first pick Owners Nidalee, and I think we're going to know right from this first game if it's going to work for them or if Hololive Esports will just be the better team tonight.
Yep, a lot of pressure on T1's shoulders to get an early win in this matchup, especially banking on the power of this Nidalee and Owners' hands.
Well, let's see how it goes. Game number 1 of Saturday Showdown starts right now. Alrighty. As I didn't quite see who that was, but someone new was doing the chant for the side of T1. So apparently it's a YouTuber, Jang Sung-gyu from Workman. You guys may know him, announcer as well. But anyway, it was kind of did it in a funny manner, and I thought it deserves some mentioning.
Hey, got a lot of a response, you know. I mean, T1 fans always loud, but definitely we're not on their side, and I could hear them very loud from over here. So
we also have the orange wave on our side. It does feel like it truly is Orange Day, which they reserve for only when Hololive Esports are playing on Saturday Showdown, in Saturday Showdown. So kind of cool that we do have Orange Day starting off. But take a look at this. Talking about the League of Legends here. T1, early in Fade, going to take away the blue.
Yep, got a lot of information here, getting a ward down towards the Raptors of Peanut. The Light's going to spot this, not much you can do. The question is, how does Peanut respond? But if you look at the map, you know, there's full coverage from T1. They have a ward at Peanut's Raptors, they have a ward at Owner's Blue, and they have that ward they obviously just placed there in Peanut's blue side. So they will know where Peanut is at all times once he starts moving around the map. He's not going to be able to pull a fast one over Owner. And as a result, I don't think he's going to really be able to recover anything from this blue loss.
You see that Delight has played a lot of Alistar, a lot more compared to the other champions that his teammates are playing in this game. And he is a fantastic Alistar. A lot of our supports in the LCK, I feel like, are very comfortable on this pick.
I remember last year, I can't remember who said it to him, but I think it was Callan who said, one of his teammates had said, you know, watch Delight play Alistar and just do that.
Yeah.
Because he was on an absolute tear on this champion. Really confident on it, and I feel like with the prevalence of like things like Leona, but also just in this comp in general, into Renekton as well, it's such a struggle trying to get onto the backline when Alistar can just like headbutt the Renekton away, cause a lot of issues for the pick.
Yeah. Also, the engage potential is just ridiculous. I mean, if you've got someone to set up plays, or you can set them up yourself, I mean, he doesn't really have that onus on him just because of the Vitalia in this one, but he can easily follow up on those plays. It's going to be really, really fun to watch Delight's positioning in this one. Yeah,
that's the one thing, is that without Flash, Alistar can skills. Yeah, that's a pretty solid win rate. I feel like without Flash, Alistar can struggle a bit into long-range picks, but again, if you have the setup from a Vi, you're kind of chilling. And Doran, definitely going to be on the back foot in this matchup. He is basically just trying not to lose trades so that he's in a position he can be dove, you know, because if you get low enough on HP, Counter-Strike isn't going to do enough to help you out.
Kind of messed up some of his CS under the turret, but yeah, he's definitely going to be catching up with that wave coming in here. The fact that he's played 24 games of Jax and he's only lost 3 is kind of incredible. Doran has been on some really strong teams, but yeah, nearly 90% win rate with that many games played is kind of insane. As owner, it's, you know, they've been putting him on Sejuani, they've been putting him on Ivern. It's been a little while.
That's actually significant because now if he passes through here, he'd be seen on the ward.
Yeah. Actually, the angle would have been perfect. He was behind, but now he's kind of in an awkward spot. They could still try to go for it. If Doran, okay, the angle isn't there. Yes, it is. Doran is going to live, and Zeus is going to die. Doran able to get away from the gank.
Such a clutch play from Doran. That's why we have the win rate we just saw on our screens before. Able to avoid the play. Zeus with the flash stun into the spear, but just not quite enough damage. And you know, we were talking about how T1 really playing the win lane, win game angle. That is not a good start for them.
I mean, they're trying to win lane, win game, especially through the top lane, especially through Renekton Italy, and it goes awry already.
Yeah, I mean, Renekton's a lizard, so he has scales at least.
Yeah.
Doesn't really.
He's gonna scalesing.
He's scalesing, yeah.
But I don't know if he's going to scale quite as well
as the Jax.
As the Jax or the Zeri.
Or just playing into Talia Alistair.
Yeah, might be a little bit of a rough time. Actually, a lot of a rough time. Definitely needed to get ahead. Now, Doran's just on parity. He goes back, picks up early plated steel caps.
Yep.
And now the lane is just... It just feels kind of free. I mean, yes, owner might make another pass in a little while, maybe after level 6, but I don't even know. I mean, it's going to have to be a really good position to punish Doran from here.
The thing that gets really scary as well is the Talia mid lane potentially being able to roam. And the reason they went for this play was so there was no counter-strike available, but it's the ward into the leap strike. I feel like was the big shining light of that play. Just doing that quickly enough that there couldn't be the follow-up from Zeus. And Zeka getting full value out of his health bar. You know?
Calculated, yeah. If we do look at this one, as we do have, by the way, it is Doran's 5th year anniversary, so congratulations to Doran. He sounded very excited when he's like, I got him. But yeah, in the mid lane, Zeka does not have TP, neither does Faker, so that's actually a really good trade that Faker takes to push Zeka out of lane, gets him behind a little bit, as we do have Doran trying to get over here and stop them from taking the Krugs, or the Grubs, rather. But Peanut's doing the Drake, so yeah, not going to be able to stop them.
I feel like that was such a psycho play. Like, your jungler's doing Dragon, you're into Renekton Italy, you know enemy support's coming up, and Doran's like, yeah, I'll mess about a bit, you know. I'll just vibe in the pit.
Yeah.
And I mean, he gets away. The value of the Counter-Strike into like Leona Renekton is just absurd. Oh.
An angle here for Guma. He's putting on the pressure. This is right before level 6 for Zeri. As the light will come in and kind of end the fun. But a really nice angle there actually taken by Guma to try to just exert a little bit of extra pressure.
Oh yeah, Doran's in trouble now though. Ult's been for this trade, and now Doran's super low. Zeus getting some damage on the tower, and 3 grubs secured means it's going even faster. T1 doing some work to try and regain pressure here, but Peanut is now here and has ultimate.
They're going to try to turn this one around. I mean, they do see them, but they're not going to commit to trying to get a stun down. Doran at least is going to be taxied into the wave.
Yep. Oh. Don't think they can dive with Peanut there, but definitely putting some fear back into Doran, you know. Lane not over yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It is Renekton Italy, so if there's ever a big wave and your jungler's not up there, you're always going to be in danger. So, got to be careful. And Doran is, again, he's only 5 CS behind, so he's still kind of vibing. It's now Faker, kind of a rough spot here, going to get flashed on. And now the Zeri coming on in, but Faker, nice Valkyrie and flash away. And Viper's not even going to follow.
Yeah, hard one there for Delight to really find a good angle. Didn't knock Faker into an ideal spot. I feel like if that play had been a bit later and Peanut was there to follow up, that's just a kill. But in the end, it's just a trade of summoners. Delight's still okay with it because he has Hex Flash. But not quite the play they were maybe hoping for. We can see across the board, T1 does have a lead. Mid has been going well. Owner does have a lead in the jungle. But obviously, they need a lead to make this composition work.
Well, they do have one. Those leads, we'll see how they can utilize them here, as it has crested above 1,000 gold in favor of T1 early on in this game. Hololive Esports did get the Drake, but the 3 grubs did go over to T1, so still a relatively even game state at this point.
Yeah, and we see Ono once again hanging around towards the top side, but flashes back up for Doran. Actually has a level lead. Zaya should pick it up here, but yeah, I mean, I think in terms of the top lane matchup, it's gone pretty swimmingly. Viper going to pick up a plate here as well. The gold lead is still a deficit. Faker's been having a pretty fantastic time in the mid lane, but overall, I think Hololive Esports navigating this early game about as well as they'd hope. Zeka, though, been struggling a bit in that mid lane matchup.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing, is that if Zeka was having a good time mid and getting significant advantages, the game might just be over because of the map presence of Talia. But Faker's been holding up well and kind of keeping him at bay for now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, we saw it earlier on, like, Faker was taking a good trade. He nearly actually killed Zeka, but Zeka was forced to back in a really awkward timing, missed an entire wave, also gave a turret plate over to Faker. So that's really where the majority of that difference in the mid lane does come from. Just the one big trade that did go the way of Faker. You see a lot of focus from Owner on the top side of the map, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, kind of expected. And that just brief 1% when Peanut comes top and says, "Don't dive my top laner," and that's it. We do see grubs spawning up in about 10 seconds, and both teams posturing over. Mid laners down in bot lane, but both have TP. We could end up seeing our first 5v5 here. But again, I don't feel like Hololive Esports need to unnecessarily take a fight if they don't see the angle. Would be good if they can deny the 6 grubs, though. See the light posturing, he does have that Hex Flash if he wants to get over the wall.
Yeah, at this point in time, though, T1 have 4 people right here, and Doran is backing. He is going to TP into this one, but it's quickly turning into that 5v5 you were talking about. Zeka looking for the angle on the wall, as already 4 grubs going over to the side of T1, and Carrier just wants to fight as they immediately dunk onto Peanut, and he goes down. But the turn here onto Zeus as he's going to fall, but Doran on the run is going to hop away, and T1, they do trade 1 for 1, but take a look at this. They have control of the river, and that means they should get 6 grubs.
Yeah, super decisive play there from Carrier. Peanut didn't get to play the game. No flash used, no ult used, and I feel like that loss of power, that engage threat being unavailable, really killed the ability for Hololive Esports to do more in that fight. They do get a second kill for Doran, but it will be 6 grubs over to T1, and they'll instantly look to make use of those in the top lane. Faker getting some more damage on this tower.
Yeah, I mean, Faker at this point is just so fed, right? Like, there hasn't been a lot of interaction in mid. He's been CSing like a madman, and now he's just getting all these plates on the top side, and Delight and Zek are here trying to save this turret. I don't think they can, as one last shot will do it. Doesn't even need it, as the grubs get to work, and T1 take down the first turret.
Yep, and still got 2 minutes left, and I feel like when you have 6 Void Grubs, you get an angle to really pressure towers, you take them so quickly. They're looking for a dive on Zeus, though.
Zeus in a bit of trouble here, especially with the TP coming on in. The Talia just to join in on this one, and Zeus, no Dominus, no hope of survival as...
Oh,
wow.
Shiv! You know, I was just going to say,
pretty nice.
I feel like Zeus, you know, he used the Q on the minions, didn't really get much value from it because he didn't kill them, and then didn't have it for the dive. But Guma just shivs and gets the whole wave, so, you know, he prepped it.
Yeah.
He knows his job. 0-3-0 Renekton. His role is just to die and let Guma get fed, I guess, or let Faker get fed.
Yeah.
We're going to replay of this fight. So it's just decisiveness of carry here. The stun, layered CC with the ER. Peanut doesn't play the game, but I like the peel from Hololive Esports, and we're kind of seeing the struggles Renekton is going to have more and more as this game goes on. But we see HLE get chunked out too much, and they can't really do more in this fight.
Yeah. Second carrier goes in, so does Delight, but the health trade goes in favor of T1. And it does work out. This is the dive, pretty straightforward. Yeah. By Talia, you've got Peanut there, or rather Doran there as well.
I think Zeus knew his fate, didn't try to go for the empowered Q heal on the tower, and was like, you know, I'm dead. Get as many minions as you can, set up Guma, and now Doran looking for an angle, but they don't really have the setup between the Corki Nidalee to land those skill shots. Plate's going to drop in about 15 seconds. T1 not really able to get anything more with their grubs.
Yeah. Zeka pushing top side. He's got Delight nearby, just shadowing. So you see that Zeus, he's died 3 times. He's like, well, I think I know what's coming here. While our team pushes the bottom lane, I'm just going to back away and try not to die a 4th time. T1 should be able to take down this turret extremely fast. 6 grubs, down it goes. And, I mean, compared to the speed of Zeka pushing alone in top, this is very good for T1. They're just going to keep pushing.
Yeah, and I mean, Peanut's getting a Herald on the cross map, but what is a Herald? Something to take towers. T1 will just take the towers.
Yeah.
You see them moving up to defend, though.
Oh, the double stun with the counter-strike, and now Zeri is popping off Viper. Going to help in dealing damage as Doran picks up the kill. And they push, they get a bunch of damage into that turret, but they will pay 1 life for it.
You know, and I don't feel like all of these fights have really boiled down to Doran's impact, but he's been the one picking up the kills every single time. And he is so strong right now that he's going to become a big problem for the side of T1 in this one. 4-0 Jax already is very scary.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is that if he's not there or if he gets isolated, then that's so much of your gold just down the drain because T1 are still, you know, more than 1,000 gold ahead, and a lot of that gold is shored up just in the Jax. So a lot of pressure on Doran, which hasn't necessarily been the angle for Humble Life Esports in their wins.
Yeah, it's been a lot more about Viper, who's kind of just quietly been farming up. Obviously picked up a couple of assists. But I think as well, it puts a lot of weight on Doran's TP. If T1 can burn his teleport, that's a lot of time where he can't side lane, can't be that nuisance there. And on top of that, has to kind of hover around the team in case a fight does break out. We do see Humble Life Esports will pick up this tower in the top lane, mitigate some of that goal difference.
Yeah. Finally, he is not going to deny the cannon.
No. He's like, you know what, Zeus, you need this one. You can have it.
He does. He does need it.
He did, yeah.
Desperately.
I feel like it's such a grim scenario where one side lane is a Talia, not fun for Renekton. The other side lane is a Fed Jax.
Not fun for Renekton, yeah.
Really. Faker seems to be okay in that matchup, but no, not great, not great. The side lane pressure is something I feel like Doran should really look to capitalize on. We do have a Dragon Each at this point, and it is a Mountain Soul. A lot of value here, I feel like, especially Humble Life Esports to kind of mitigate the poke coming out from T1.
Yeah, I mean,
teams will be very much after it. You know, didn't get a Chemtech Soul, didn't get a useless one.
Yeah,
the value is there.
Thank you for that, Ox. As we did have T1, it was the second Drake of the game, so no Chemtech Soul yet. And Hextech Drake going to be feeling good as here's the play down on the bottom side. Just 2 people trying to push the turret. They get punished.
Yeah, good stun coming out. And yeah, Doran ends up cleaning up the kill. Could have given it to Viper, but you know what? Viper didn't earn it.
So Faker is so far up the lane here. He's trying to trade on a Zeka, but he has Seraph's finish. That's just a kill going over to the side of Humble Life Esports, and Zeka did have to TP for it, but they still have Doran's TP.
Yep, and 5 kills now for Doran. He's just racking them up every single time. There's no consideration, could I leave this? The answer is always no. Why would I leave this? And he didn't bid his TP. I think that's a big thing to point. This was Zeka joining Doran, not Doran joining Zeka.
Yeah.
So they still have that TP pressure off the Zac available. They are just going to herald in, get the tower very low.
Doran's like, you want to fight? Like, let's go. I've got my Counter-Strike ready. Come on, Carrier, let's throw him down. But yeah, I mean, just trying to put on that pressure before we do get the streak that is about to spawn. Take a look at the difference in support gold. Carrier is 1,000 gold ahead of Delight. I don't even know how that's possible.
Oh, it was the first tower taken top. Carrier got the shared gold.
I guess that makes sense.
So yeah, Carrier going to be very tanky. But yeah, I mean, not much Faker can really do when he's that pushed up. Bidding the flash, I'm just going to say it was a big mistake. You know, Seraphs was there for Zeka. You weren't killing Zeka.
Yeah.
And now, going into this team fight for Dragon, if I'm Humble Life Esports and there's a Fed Corki without flash, I know who I want to target. And they have a vial, so it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
You just getting range and press R.
Well, T1 do have control of the river for now, but if Humble Life Esports are able to make like an outpost here around mid and just press those buttons as you mentioned, they're going to be in a good spot. And Faker is way down the lane. They're trying to engage, but that engage is going to not work at all. And now T1 are like, well, I guess we just cannot fight. I say that though, they are sticking around. Some missiles being thrown out, some spears as well.
Yeah, the poke threat's still big. And obviously wasn't an ideal engage, but they did at least get Zeka's flash there, and he's chunked out.
Yeah.
On Life Esports trying to hold strong here, but more poke connecting. Zeka's so low, and the TP is coming in for a flank angle.
The TP is coming in, and Zeka, not sure if he even spotted him here, as now the engage comes in. Zeka, no flash, but the seismic shot to get him away. Zeka stays safe. Peanut, though, extremely low, but down should go Courier. No, he is not going to. He survives, and the Drake goes to T1. Humble Life Esports on the run, trying to get out, and Doran, the massive shutdown, goes over to Owner, although we do have Guma going a bit deep. He does take out Peanut, but trades his life for it, trying to open up some more kills for his teammates, but it's not quite gonna happen.
The 0-3 Renekton value, the flank angle that comes in, and sure, Humble Life Esports do a great job of making sure Zeus cannot get on Zeka, but they burn so much to do so. This read from Zeus was so fantastic. Comes in, preps the ult early to get the rage bar, and as he comes in, Zeka's already thrown the Unraveled Earth, but he seismic shoves Zeus, and immediately the Vial is committed. So now, your biggest tools have been burned on the Renekton. Guma's able to ult in and free hit. Dorian is focusing carrier and doesn't even manage to succeed, so Ona can just clean up that for the shutdown. And look at Guma and Faker, they're full HP. They haven't been touched. Guma, not his best play, but you know, I respect the hustle.
Hashtag worth, got the kill.
Yeah.
Yep.
But man, I just think it's crazy how much attention Zeus drew there as this super malnourished Renekton who's been having such a bad time.
Yeah, I mean, he is at least still going to fulfill an excellent flanking role as he did in that team fight, and yeah, huge value for the team. And you see the difference right now in terms of XP. It's nearly 2 levels between Owner and Peanut as the farm of this Nidalee, and the fact that he got that massive shutdown on the Jax as well. I mean, Owner's just ginormous right now.
Owner was already fed, and now it's become even more severe. And the thing is, if the poke is just too much of a problem for Humble Life Esports, and they can't find a good engage angle, they just lose every setup. And the takeaway as well is T1 got the Dragon on that fight, so they are stacking towards that soul. And it will just make things harder and harder as the game goes on. You see, Humble Life Esports very focused on trying to get this mid-tier 1 down. It's so low, it wouldn't take much. But T1 are refusing to give it up.
Oh man, and Owner's just really on his game. You know, we talked a lot about the first pick Nidalee in the draft, and now Doran, he does have flash, but trying not to use it, he's not going to have to.
You know what? I feel like it's not even just the flash. He has a trinket and he had a control ward, and he's just like, nope, I will save these. Oh man, that poke.
Owner's just not missing.
The thing is as well, you know, you have such a short cooldown on your spears. Even if you hit 1 and 3, as long as you hit 1, it does so much damage now. It just makes it impossible for Humble Life to fight.
Yeah.
So just keep throwing them. And eventually the pressure will come through. You also have poke from the Kai'Sa and the Corki. Not so much right now from the Kai'Sa, needs the AP from the Nash's Tooth for the resets as well. But Faker with the Triforce Manamune, those rockets are actually starting to do a fair bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just chipping them away, and you see T1's game plan there for a while was just group as 4, group as 5, and just kind of throw a bunch of spears, throw a bunch of poke into Humble Life Esports, and just not allow them to get map control. I don't think that they can quite run at the Baron just yet, as much as T1 would like to. As Owner, desperate to try to get a Scuttle Crab here, is going to have to pay for it with this flash. Now Delight has to throw his ult in, but they'll be happy to get that flash out of Owner.
Yeah, very aggressive play there. Oh, Viper's in trouble.
Yeah, he is going to have to throw the ult in. Now he's just going to flash away, and now look, Delight is caught once again, but the seismic shove is huge from Zeka. Courier in a rough spot once again. He's going to have to just walk this one off in kind of a rough spot.
Yeah, Faker getting some damage on the side. I think he just take this, and he will get it. So finally that battle over the mid-tier ones. T1 will be the victors there. And I think the play from Hanwha Life Esports felt very aggressive, but I actually really liked it if they were able to disengage. But unfortunately, Viper gets caught on rotation, his flash goes down, and so the trade-off, not as positive as you'd hope. If they just managed to get the flash from Owner, break the wrist, walk away,
yeah,
would have been fantastic. But unfortunately, got more than they bargained for, and didn't even manage to finish off Carrier there. So Viper being flashless is a bit of a vulnerability, but I think the big thing is they still have... Oh no, oh no. Oh.
Zeus is so close to flash.
Yeah.
And it is Zeri, but like, man, imagine they catch Viper without his flash up, without his ult available, right before the Drake is about to spawn.
It would be a lost Drake, a lost fight. Hanwha Life Esports, they can target Owner, but he has stopwatch now as well, so taking that flash not nearly as valuable when he can just go on a stasis. Hanwha Life Esports once again moving down towards the bot side.
Yeah, they just concede Banana Brush control, and they say, okay, we're fine to just fight here.
Trying to circumvent them. A ward being thrown down. Zeus could go for a similar trick, TPing in for the flank, but they might be wary of it now.
Yeah, it's just going to be a flip here, I think, but Owner not in position to go for the smite. It does go the way of Peanut, and now they're turning on a Keria, who's left out to dry. Nobody can get in there. On the side of T1, Keria goes down. Hanwha Life Esports looking for more. That's a flash comes in. The counter-strike hits two, but the front line is being chipped away with the engage from Delight. Gets onto the back line, and now Faker and Guma in a really terrible spot. They're both going to be taken down. Hanwha Life Esports crush the fight.
Beautiful target selection from Hanwha Life Esports, using all these layered forms of engage to get on top of the members of T1. They're moving to Baron. They have no jungler. Owner is alive. They have a lot of confidence they can make this work. They're going to need to use Delight and Zeka in particular to keep Owner out of the pit. He can't even get close. We see Peanut still not on the map. This is delicate.
Yeah, I mean, trying to get vision, horizon focus, but it's just not going to happen. And Hanwha Life Esports able to zone him away. They have an Alistar, and that is Baron on all 5 members of Hanwha. And
I just love how Hanwha Life Esports play this one, because when Keria goes in, Doran zones, and everyone just peels away, take out the Leona, and then focus on this Renekton afterwards. And then the call here, they still have Vial, Doran has Flash, is to follow up.
Beautiful.
They take the Renekton, they peel back again, and then Delight finds his great flash angle over the wall. Honestly, feels like between Delight, Doran, and Peanut, all of them played that so well, getting onto the key targets.
Yeah, it was awesome just to watch like one by one, the different stages of the team fight, the different layers of the onion being peeled back. Hanwha Life Esports, they win the fight. You talked about their team fight composition really shined in that last one. And now they take the Baron. They don't have a huge gold lead right now, but they have absolutely taken over this game. They get themselves a Mountain Drake on top of everything, and they're going to look to take some gold off the map and extend that lead here in the Red Bull Baron power play.
And this is such a rough spot for T1 to be in, because, we kind of talked about before, the Renekton is going to fall off, the Nidalee not going to be as relevant late, and Hanwha Life Esports team fighting is so strong, so them picking up all these structures and getting all this gold is going to be such a huge payoff. T1, the ideal scenario of this game would be they secured that 3rd dragon, maybe a Baron themselves.
They're fake backing. Oh. They're fake backing. They're not actually backing. And Faker, he falls for it, trying to just farm in front of them, and that is going to be Faker down. And now Doran is just gigantic on the Jax, and they're just diving over the wall. It's very risky, but they just don't care as they're getting into that backline. T1 are falling like a house of cards. Hanwha Life Esports will win this game.
The confidence from Hanwha Life Esports, the fake back into the faker pick, and every time it looks like the fight is over, one more person steps up, finds the angle, continues in. Honestly, just some beautiful execution there. Very crisp team fighting, and Hanwha Life Esports start this series off with a bang.
Absolutely. Huge win from Hanwha Life Esports in this one. T1 were able to win early on in the lanes, but Hanwha Life Esports kept cool, kept calm. And Doran, just insane amount of kills in this game, and he actually utilized that lead extremely well. Died just the one time, I believe. maybe twice. But, man, he made so many plays in this one.
And considering we started the day talking about Viper and his impact, you know, he was just playing cleanup. And I feel like the front line, the engaged threats from HLE Esports really shone on this one. Even Peanut, who had some rough times in the jungle matchup, did his job when it came to the 5v5s. And just really strong performance. T1, they came in with a new strategy. They had a good match, you know, it was close, but it didn't work. And now, staring down a 1-0 deficit, they need to get the reverse sweep that HLE Esports did against them. I love the fact Peanut did 4k damage. It just doesn't matter. He pressed R.
Yep.
He pressed R.
Pressed R, pressed his Q sometimes, made some plays, and the damage dealers got the damage done. Doran picked up first blood, and he ran away with the game. And yeah, I mean, T1 really struggling. HLE Esports are an incredibly strong team right now, and they look primed. I mean, they beat T1 last time it was close. This one might not look nearly as close if we get another game like that with the incredible team fighting from the side of HLE Esports. But we're done here at the first game. We are going to take a break and break it down at the space with Degon, Atlas, and Chronicle, and we'll see you after the break.
살짝 올게 이거. 바로 한번 봐봐. 나 스킬 썼어. 좋다. 너무 좋다. 나 그냥 박을게. 나 풀 있고. 레오나. 좋아. 나 살았어. 한턴 빼고. 나 위에 왔고. 한턴 빼고 타. 미드 해도 돼. 미드 바텀 둘 다 하자. 미드 바텀 둘 다. 천천히. 미드 바텀 둘 다. 제리 봐줘. 네네네. 내 다루풀이야. 가자. 다루풀. 가. 카이사 남았어. 끝내. 나이스. 맞다. 끝났어. 나이스. 해봐. 이긴 거 같은데? 끝났어. 나이스. 잘했다. 굿. 16초. 아래서 하면 아웃 포커스 해야 돼. 더. 잭스 탱된다. 잭스 좀. 괜찮아. 스테락이라서 괜찮아. 더. 야, 무조건 끝났어. 끝났어. 나이스. 잘 보자. 다음 게임 잘하자. 나쁘지 않았다, 방금.
Blue side again, unsurprisingly. The Space said they wouldn't be, you know, surprised or unhappy if T1 just ran it back. Any thoughts, Ox?
You got to make some tweaks. You know, I think maybe when you get the second rotation, the thing that sticks out to me is the Rakan ban. You know, Delight was fantastic on the Alistar. What did you actually gain from the Rakan ban? I feel like, honestly, you could switch that out for a Jax ban or an Alistar ban and probably fare better in this situation. So, we'll see. But the thing is now, T1 have revealed that their plan was to first pick Nidalee. So now we're in a situation where HLE Esports are like, do we ban Sejuani? That's the question.
Yeah,
I mean, is being posed right now.
Yeah, they banned Sejuani second in the first game. So now they're mixing up the order, or they're just not banning it. Nope, they're just going to mix up the order. Little mind games, or they wanted to give a little bit of extra thought. You know, take an extra 40 seconds to decide. Either way, it's Nidalee again.
You know what? I think HLE Esports could pick Vizeri here. I think that would be...
Yeah? You think so? Could be a winning formula?
Yeah, I could see them winning with those two picks and maybe some other picks as well. Although I'm not going to lie, if Peanut goes, I am playing Vi again, I'd kind of get it. But I think the Zeri obviously worked well with what the composition wanted to do. They're actually prioritizing the Renekton, so denying the Renekton Nidalee off the bat. T1 don't get to play that duo again. Be interested to see what Zeus prioritizes instead. And they'll also steal away the Corki. It looks like they're eyeing up. And to be fair, out of everyone on Honor Life Esports, Zeka had the most trouble. You know, lane did not go too well for him into Faker, so they will deny that one away. And this is one of these situations where, you know, the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I think Honor Life Esports are just like, no, we'll just improve, you know. Last game wasn't one-sided enough. It was very close. We think things can be better.
Is Faker playing Lucian? Or is it Guma? I mean, that would be kind of weird to pick 80 carry Lucian in this spot, but it is going to be Lucian regardless.
Yeah, we have seen this come out. Chovy, obviously, the first one, I believe, to play in the LCK into the Corki, and then the Gnar coming in. So less setup for the Nidalee, but T1 still following through with Wional win lane, win game.
Yeah, it's basically like 3 strong champions. And as you mentioned, you know, they have Nidalee to try to help those lanes get ahead. It's great if you have Nidalee with 2 winning lanes, because then she can kind of go all over the map. We do have Zyra selected here for the side of Peanuts. And, you know, it's not Nidalee, but it does offer you really strong, fast clears and ability to affect lanes in your own right.
Yep, so it means you are going to be able to keep pace. That was one of the things that Peanut struggled a bit with, was keeping pace with Nidalee on a Vi. Not really possible. But it does mean they haven't locked in their bot lane. Neither team has, and we're seeing a lot more bans thrown towards that. We already had 380 carries banned in the first rotation. It's now up to 5. Leona taking off the cards.
You see Carrier, he's got a little grin. I'm sure he knows it wasn't his best game of Leona. I think that Kaisa is a strong shout. It's another pick that Viper has looked very strong on, and they do deny that as well.
That's what you do, right? Each team picks an 80 carry in mid, and then 6 are banned to really just hurt Viper's pool. That's how you stop him from carrying. You know, just ban everything. We'll see what he opts to bring out here. Looking at the MF, he should get buffed not too long ago. And they will lock it in, so, you know, I feel like you can sort of call back to, you know, like the days you're playing in gold with your friends, like ranked 5, and you had like Zyra, MF, and you're like, oh, we can ult together, it'll be sick. Kind of gives me those vibes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you throw some big teamfight ultimates right on top of the enemy champions, and they can't do much. I was thinking we might see Jhin Bard here on the side of T1. It's something they've gone back to many times. And no. I think Guma's very comfortable on the Jhin.
They made the Jhin Bard work last time. Jhin definitely good into the likes of like Zyra. Once she's out of position, she's really out of position. But the thing, I feel like they're lacking setup for the Nidalee. And they've gone for the Braum, so obviously a pick that can really block the damage from MF's ultimate. But again, you don't have fantastic setup to land some of these key skill shots. We've seen the engaged Braum far too many times.
He's saying Rel. That's not Rel.
Maybe he said not Rel.
Yeah, maybe. He was saying something like that. Could have been saying Ali as well, which Alistair. Makes sense. He had a great game in game number 1. Why not just play it again? It is very strong. Yeah,
the thing is, though, I feel like a lot more onus is going to be on Delight in this one because you don't have the Vi. You don't necessarily have the fed Jax. Hopefully the Renekton gets fed is what I'm guessing they're leaning towards, but into Nidalee, probably not. So closing the gap on a T1 might be harder, and the thing is T1 still have that poke for the Nidalee, the Jhin as well. If the poke starts to land, you can just open up with the ultimate. But I still feel like there's a lot of team fight power in Home Life Esports. T1's composition needs a fair bit of finesse, so we'll see.
Yeah.
See what they're able to do in this one.
It feels very similar to game 1 with wildly different compositions. I mean, maybe not wildly, but definitely a lot of new picks coming through. As hoping for lucky T1. A lot of T1 fans here hoping that they can turn things around, but I don't know. It just feels like Home Life Esports have their number this split, especially after the way the first series ended between them just 8 days ago. And, well, we might get a repeat here unless T1 can make this comp work.
Yep, that's the question. Can they pull it off? They obviously had a good early game last time, but they need more, and they can't make those critical mistakes in the 5v5s.
It's not going to be easy. Tons of team fight power here on the side of Home Life Esports. Let's get ready. Let's hop onto the rip for game number 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
That's the YouTuber again. Announcer, YouTuber, workman. Just getting on in there.
Getting hyped.
And this time he did it for Life Esports. Just wanted to show, you know, he's playing both sides.
Wait,
he's
so
not sure which team he wants to support yet.
last game he did it for T1 and T1
lost.
And this game he did it for Life. Oh no.
And Life.
We'll see.
Can they break the 1-game streak?
You know what's a combo we haven't seen in the longest time? Lucian Braum. It just doesn't exist in the bot lane anymore, really. But
yeah.
We have a Lucian and a Braum in this one. And I like the T1 using the strength of the Braum level 1. I feel like teams don't do this enough. Such a strong level 1 champion. If you get hit by the Winter's Bite, you're just basically dead. Because if you flash, they can just flash after you and proc the stun. So they'll use that for this heavy invade on the top side. But they've lit up Peanut's jungle like a Christmas tree. Forced him away over to his blue buff, where he didn't have as many plants set up. And we'll see what Owner manages to do. He did steal away a buff in the last game. Will he go for, like, I'm going to steal a buff and then cover my own jungle? Will he want to split the map completely? Looks like he's taking the Raptors as well, so maybe looking to get a bit more out of this. And the question is, what will he do to stop Peanut from stealing away jungle camps in return?
Yeah, it's definitely something they've been indexing into a lot. We're looking for the level 2 here for Faker. Now, the thing is, if you're picking Lucian into Corki, you have to put on pressure. You have to win lane. Otherwise, the Corki just kind of scales and feels fine, right? And we've seen Lucians do really well as they can put on a lot of pressure. We've also seen some other Lucians just kind of go even and not really do as much as the game comes along. As here's Peanut. He's in mid and is trying to help out his Corki.
He's so fast.
And, I mean, he's going to land the root as well. That's electrocute. And all of a sudden, Faker, he's not going to have to flash anything, but he's not really winning the lane.
Yeah, and now Zeka's going to have so much prio. Peanut can just invade on blue side. I was thinking, hey, does he invade red side with a bot prio? He's just going to challenge here. You can see Doran coming over as well. Owner's about to get smite up. They both are.
Yeah.
I think he's not going to be able to approach, so Peanut does get to steal this buff away.
And Peanut just stood behind the blue buff, and he's like, well, you can't extend into this, and I can just dodge all the spears.
Yep, and also holds his nerve when the Nidalee Spear came in. He's like, this doesn't do that much damage. It's not going to kill.
Oh.
Okay, I think we just move on. Don't need to discuss.
Tell that to Jonah Strong.
Don't need to address it.
Owner's going in here. He's going to miss the spear, and he does heal. He's got red buff. I mean, this is getting relatively close, and now Peanut is like, uh-oh, I've got to flash away. Here comes Doran and Zeka. Going to get the flash out of Owner. This is getting incredibly dicey in the T1 jungle, as now some plants on the ground, but Zeus not going to get rooted. And we all just kind of back away, hands in the air.
Yeah, a bit slicey, incredibly dicey in that one. But Peanut had a lot of confidence on that play because Nidalee was so low, but then Nidalee with red buff doesn't need to do anything apart from just auto you and self-heal. And Owner ends up coming out ahead in the 1v1, and it's just a trade of flashes. You know, 2 flashes for the top and jungle from both sides. And already having a ton of action in this game between the 2 junglers. I think a big difference between the Vi game, where it was kind of just you take the L and just sort of retreat to your jungle and hope that the Nidalee leaves you alone and stops bullying you. Whereas this one, Peanut's like, no, I'll invade.
I mean, especially because he makes a nice little pass through mid, because he knows, you know, what I was talking about before. Faker's going to want to put on as much pressure as possible, and even just running through and getting a lot of damage on a Faker, it's not a kill, but it's a very effective gank because you push Faker back, you allow Zeka to get ahead on XP seemingly as well, and on farm, and you're able to just go in and pressure the blue buff.
Those are the ganks I hate the most. You know, if you're going to die, if the enemy jungler kills you in a gank, you're like, well, I guess I was out of position, you know? But the worst is when they just come in your lane and they just damage you, and you know you're not going to die, and they know you're not going to die, but they just ruin your laning phase and chunk you out, so now Faker's 10 CS behind.
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
Viper might get stunned up here. Delight trying to help out. And he will be just fine. They did stop the back of Guma. Neither AD carry has back just yet.
It is a Jhin, though, with a Braum. Not exactly the best passive stacker, you know. In fact, out of every champion on T1, including the Braum himself, Kuma is definitely the slowest at stacking up that passive.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it still does have synergy, but not in terms of stacking passive. You're exactly right. It has synergy elsewhere. You can hold up a door, you can keep Jhin safe, you can essentially set up kind of a turret situation. You have the ability to run people down extremely well just because you've got slows, you've got roots, you've got stuns. But yeah, Jhin, in that one facet, Jin's not very happy. Owner is not going to face check the brush.
You know what's going to be the weirdest is we get a situation where there's like one attack left to go for the stun, and Kuma's just struggling with the ammo,
just running around reloading.
You know, like, oh god!
He's fooling us all, man. We do have a fight here over the grubs. This time Peanut is going to get one, but it does look like they'll give the other two over to T1. But not going to be 6 this time to T1.
Yeah, and I think Honor Life Esports happy they could nab that one, get the extra XP for the Zyra, and sure they don't get more, but they disengage the situation. And can look potentially towards the Dragon later on. They did swap their bot lane up to the top side for that play. So, you know, I say get the Dragon, but I think they might end up just sacrificing it here. But T1 seem to want to make a more active play, you know, rather than just waste time on the Dragon right now. Potentially look to challenge this tower. We'll see what they do with their time, because right now, Viper and Delight have a wave built up, and Zeus isn't even bothering to try. He is just disengaging, he's leaving, he's gone.
Yeah. You can see how some of the trading patterns do go in mid. Obviously, Faker's a bit behind. He also went for the call, so that's going to set him behind for now as well, up against the phage of Zeka. Here is the push going on in the top lane, and they're even being shadowed by Peanut, who is able to just push Zeus off of the turret. And for now, Doran only getting pressured by a Jhin feels totally fine.
Yeah, and they're losing out so heavily here. T1 are. Fake is so low as well.
He does have flash, but okay, here comes Owner as well, and actually Peanut has backed away. Zeka's like, you want to fight? Let's fight. I'll take the 1v1. Faker can't even join this. And Owner will be pushed away. Now we got a knock up here to carry, and an MF ult straight to the face is the door. Not able to help at all. That is first blood given over to actually Delight.
Such a strange passage of play from T1. I feel like they just made the I mean, when is the last time you saw Zeus hit a minion, by the way? But I feel like they just made the wrong decisions back to back, and Honor Life Esports held strong. So Doran's been picking up solo XP in the bot lane. He's completely fine. Peanut moved to pressure Faker, wasn't able to do so, but then they get this dive top on a carrier, and Owner didn't achieve much either. See, they're zoning them out so heavily, but carrier walks up to the wave solo. No backup, thinks I'm Braum, I'm strong. Strange flash interaction there. Try to flash the W from Delight, doesn't really work out, still in combo range. And then the ult from MF, you know, level 1 Braum shield reduces damage a lot less. You know, for anyone who's interested.
Well, what do you think? Maybe he leveled his Z 3 times. It's possible.
Doubtful.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
Yeah, it's 35%
kind of well known.
at rank 1. At rank 5, it's 55%. Which
wow. What's it at rank 3? 45?
45, yeah. Yeah.
Don't think it would have kept him alive.
Also makes the duration longer. Yeah, you know,
but it would have kept Ox very tilted since, what was it?
It wouldn't have changed.
What finals was that?
Oh, that was the, wasn't it last year?
I think it was last year, yeah. Summer?
Maybe, or maybe it was spring.
Maybe, actually, yeah, I think it was spring.
Yeah.
I think it was spring.
But it's fine. I mean, you don't have points in your E anyway at this point, but I think it was just carrier, you know, overestimating his abilities. He's like, I'm Braum, I'm strong, said to the turret, stand behind me. MF ult doesn't damage the turret, so, you know, the turret's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, the turret felt a little bit confused by the situation, honestly. Zeus is going to flash away here, but he's not getting out by any means. He's not even going to hit Megadar, and Owner is just alone now underneath the turret. And Doran and Peanut say, no, we got what we wanted. We picked up an orange buff for our Renekton, and we're just going to back away. Yeah,
Zeus didn't realize that he's not allowed to farm this game.
Okay, trying to take the 1v1 here. Actually is going to win that. Owner gets some revenge in the top lane, and Doran's kind of left with a cheeky little smile. A little bit embarrassed after that one.
I feel like it's not been a good Doran series if he hasn't been solo killed at some point, you know?
That's true.
You gotta get it in.
Yeah, just get it out of the way early. You're like, okay, this doesn't matter now.
Yeah. Oh,
Trying to land the stun here on a Zeka, but with the light nearby.
there's the Lucian Braum combo, you
Wow.
know? I just think it's very funny. We have one of the fastest Braum passive stackers in the mid lane,
Yeah.
and the slowest in the bot lane, which is why Carrier has just left Guma. He's like, you're on your own, buddy.
I mean, Guma has
have
been
fun.
alone for a while.
Yeah.
Finally, Keria comes over. He's like, all right, I guess I'll help you now. We never had a Drake taken at all. T1 had an opportunity earlier on, but they just didn't. So now
Yeah.
Life Esports going to take this one.
I think T1 were like, look, we want to get things done in the early game. We need to generate a gold lead, so let's not do Drake. They are now down 2,000 gold, and on Life Esports will take the first Drake. So didn't quite
Yeah.
pan out how they'd hoped, but the theory, we can follow the theory.
Yeah.
The execution, not so clear.
Yeah, theory not working out very well. Life
they failed the
Esports are
practical
kind of
test.
stomping them here in this early game. And Zeus, he's like, I can clear the wave.
Yeah,
No.
had the flash early, can't flash the auto attack. And then here, this is one of these moments where...
Wait, so that's what happened.
yeah, this
He
is one of
really
those
wanted to
moments
get it out of the way early.
where you beat T1 not too long ago, you're 1-0 up in the series, you're ahead early against an Italy, and you're like, you're just so confident.
You got POG in the last game, even
Oh,
though
yeah.
Ox didn't vote for you.
Yeah.
And
You know, this is why. This is a... This is why
yeah.
I saw the future, I saw this play coming, and it made me reconsider my vote.
He took like 5 turret shots.
Yeah. I think what was the best part is he ran through the turret, and he could have just taken 2,
Yeah.
and then he stunned, and in effect, stunned himself under the turret. Stood there.
It was very silly.
Never changed, Doran. Never changed.
That
Oh.
okay. Well, that happened. Now Peanut's on vision. He doesn't care. He's just gonna throw his ult on our Owner, who is going to dodge a lot of the damage. But we got the super plants coming in, and Owner will disengage on the disengage cone. We do have Keria and Guma trying to go for the 2v2, but Viper already with the BT finished. Got to be
Yeah.
careful about that.
You've seen this new MF build where BT has so much AD now, and obviously MF scales so little AD, but in the 2v2, not only do you kind of need Ignite, but like it's actually so hard to deal with this MF and make damage stick. Like, look at that trade. They broke Viper's shield.
Yep.
Oh, look, it's coming back. Oh, well, we just lose.
He just ran at both of them.
Yeah.
And was autoing as fast as he possibly
The light
could.
was just chilling,
Yeah.
you know? And Viper 1v2. A lot of pressure now from this MF. And also, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but Jin doesn't stack the Braum passive very fast.
All right, that's your last time.
Okay,
That's your
one.
last time you're able to mention that.
Right, got it. In those trades, you ain't really stunning in return. As he doesn't stack it very fast. You know, the Jin. I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah, the Jin.
If I'm not clear.
Doesn't stack the Braum passing very fast. So
Yeah,
you don't get the
'cause
stun.
he only has 4
very
bullets,
fast.
and he has not much attack speed, and then he has
Yeah.
to reload. Jin,
Well,
I'm speaking about.
Yeah, he's talking about Jin.
not
Zeus
like
is
Graves.
running down to the bottom lane here. Now, the issue with this is that he's really finding a lane where he can farm. This is not a lane where he can farm because there's a Zyra right there. He's going to spot it, and now
Okay.
he's like, well, where do I get to farm?
I'm gonna ask if someone can let me know, hopefully from the space. When did Zeus buy his cull? And I'm kind of curious when he actually stacks it because right now,
Right, he's farming the red buff.
no, he's not anymore. Yeah, he's. I thought game 1 was rough for Zeus.
He did pretty well in that game outside of, you know, the dive early on.
He's having a tough time.
Here comes Doran. He wants to take a trade up against Faker. Not going to overextend. There's not much of a wave here, though. Keria is trying to get this done. The stun comes down, and Doran flashes, but it's not enough as the Faker is going to go down to the last shot from the tower.
Survives long enough for the tower to do the work.
What's
Great
happening
play there,
here?
Doran. So you can see in the bottom left. Oh wait, Zeus is gonna hit a wave. Oh, he's getting some CS in.
He got a couple.
Okay, so he bought Cole. Thank you very much, Chronicler. At 7 minutes.
Well, we're gonna, yeah, we got a little dive going on here as another TP is gonna come. Carrie's just gonna die to the turret. Zeus says, yeah, maybe I can do that as well. Can he even get the kill? The knockup comes in from Delight, and the dive is just awful. Life Esports will easily clean that up.
Stop trying! Just give up! That tower, you can't deal with it. Just leave it alone for the rest of the game. Go mid, go bot, but you just... 2 times in a row, they've tried to make a dive work, and it's gone so badly. Doran gets a lot of damage down on Faker here. Stacks up the Fury, so he gets a heal here just off the Q. The ult does kill him, but Faker takes 1 shot too many. Maybe if he immediately flashed, he would have lived, but a bit late. And then Keria taking too many tower hits off the bat, and then Zeka just melts him. Honestly, and then here, it looks like Zeka, he takes the spear, looks like he's gonna go down, but Delight ults the stun, gets the pulverize to save Zeka. Clutch play from, oh my god,
no. Oh no, not Zeus.
Why
not this guy. And, ooh, nice little dodge there on the missile. But again, you're not allowed to farm in this game. We've already established that, and Life Esports have made 100% sure that this Gnar does not get to lane at all.
Will he complete the call by the end of the game? I'm honestly unsure at this point. Herald coming in, but they won't be able to do more. The spear hit Viper, and he's still full health.
Yes.
Yep. The poke not really going to do much against him. And Zeka going to put some pressure down in this mid-tier 1. I think he has to back off, though. He is being flanked.
It's Mountain Soul again, by the way. So, pretty interesting stuff. Guma's just going to walk by the Zyra, and he's going to get rooted and die. So, this has happened a lot. I feel like T1 are losing a bit of focus, and Life Esports are in the driver's seat right now, because that's like 3 or 4 kills in a row where T1 members are trying to do things, and they're just getting clobbered.
It's getting very goofy, I think we can say.
Yeah.
But Life Esports are not hesitating.
We've seen happy gaming. This just looks like sad gaming.
No, it's so crazy that I say that, and then Zeka just does this.
Yeah.
Like, I literally say Life Esports aren't hesitating. I'm trying to compliment them, and Zeka just takes 18 towers.
Light. He's going to have to flash this. And that's a turret going over to Life Esports.
He's 20 away from the coal being stacked. He's he's so close, but so far.
He's getting there.
He's slowly coming through. He has 600 more gold than Delight.
Delight does have 2 kills, to be fair.
Yeah, Delight is pretty fair.
I don't know how he manages to get those last hits, but
yeah, he's working hard.
Oh, I don't want to watch this again.
Yeah, let's break it down. So what Guma does is he assumes they can't kill him, and he misjudges the max range of Zyra root, and then he dies.
Yep, that's what happened. And he's just trying to save the turret. Like, you can understand, like, the reasoning, but the actual execution, we talk about this all the time. It's like, okay, you understand their mindset, what they're thinking, but it just ends up looking very silly. It's just a free Jhin kill. Peanut is just everywhere, it feels like, in this game. Like, he's top, he's bot, he's pressuring, making sure Zeus doesn't get the farm, he's pushing turrets, he's always in the right place at the right time. And that time, he's able to pick up a kill.
Okay, 16 to go on Zeus. This is what I'm investing
Looking at the call.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's definitely very one-sided to Life Esports, but the game is not blown out yet, right? They're still very much in the driver's seat, almost certainly going to close out
That's
the game.
why I'm focused on the call, because that's the comeback, right?
Yeah.
When Zeus stacks the call, 15, 40, we're closing in.
We're getting there.
This is T1's win con. the call.
12. He's got a wave in top. I mean, he's actually able to farm now.
2 more waves.
We have
I hope
lost.
everyone cheers when he stacks the call. This is a momentous occasion. He's not even rushing. He's taking it slow. Only last hits. Only last hits. 9 to go.
Yeah, I mean, they lost all of their outer turrets. So you can see he's actually not pushing the wave. He's actually trying to have it push into him, which is very smart given the situation.
Oh, but now Corky's coming, so he can't farm the next 5 stacks. It has been 13 minutes now since he bought the coal, you know?
Yeah.
He's just trying to get his gold. He's recalled.
He's not able to finish it just yet. He's going bot. And, I mean, Zeka is pushing in the top wave, but it does look like Faker's just going to go up there. So, now with Baron available, and Hololive Esports in
Baron for coal trade?
total control of the map.
Is that the strat? Do we trade? We let Zeus get coal bot lane and we give up Baron?
Oh,
Maybe.
he does have TP. So I hope at this point in time, if they're worried about a Baron take, he is ready with his Mega Gnar.
It's coming. I don't want to get too excited, Brendan.
No, he's going to go for the trade instead. He's looking to take down Doran. Zeus actually behind Doran now, and Delight is on the huge flank here.
There's your 2 stacks. Where are you going? Get the wave! No!
There's no call in this play, I'll tell you that. Zeus is dead. The only question...
Wait, the minions! Get the minions!
Oh!
No! Zeus!
He's not going to get it. And Viper's going to pick up the kill. Zeus goes down for the 3rd time. And, yeah, he still hasn't finished his call.
He literally could have got it. I think he should. If he died under the tower for the call, he could have said worth in all chat.
Yeah.
He can't anymore. It wasn't worth.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not even like, I mean, okay. Well, let's look at what happened on the map, because at least T1 were able to get in and take some vision around the Baron. But it's very much a very small thing. Don't get me wrong. Zeus going down, and also Faker's just leaving Keria to die.
I love how we get the engaged Roam, and
Now,
Faker goes, I don't condone that, I'm leaving.
If Keria dies and T1 get the dragon, I feel like that's pretty worth for T1, although it depends on who gets the kill. They're just going to give it over to Zeka.
Oh, yeah,
Also,
Peanut.
Peanut's just going to die. This game has just gone off the rails, guys. I don't even know, like, where we are. Where am I?
Where is Zeus right now?
Yeah, well, he's in potentially 0-4 land. He is about to hit Mega Gnar, but let's see if they can take him out before that. Yes, they will. Down he goes. And Zeus, in fact, will hit Mega Gnar, and he still hasn't finished the call.
It's been 15 minutes.
And Hololive Esports get the dragon.
Guys, you need the cold power spike. How are you supposed to win if you don't get the stacks? Oh, well, Hololive Esports managed to respond. Peanut obviously went down, but a quick cleanup will get them their 3rd dragon. T1 will clear vision around the Baron, and that coal will remain unstacked. Every time I'm convinced it's going to happen.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, wait. He's spawning in 2 seconds. There's a wave bot lane. He pings on the way.
No, the replay!
How can you show a replay at a time like this? We've been waiting.
Okay, so this is how they got Peanut.
Yeah, just stepped up too far when the team out there. This is kind of the value of the Jhin into the Zyra, with it being in a mobile pick. The pick potential is there.
Yeah.
But the TP comes in, and T1 are so far behind. Zeus ends up being the sacrifice. Does flash the combo from Delight, but it's just not enough.
Honestly, the best member to sacrifice, right? He doesn't have any kills. You might as well. He did finish the call. We have confirmation that Zeus has finished the call after 17 minutes. But, yeah, I mean, they go very deep for the kill. I think it's still worth. But, again, they have to do so much more to come back in this game. And this might be the angle. Doran does take a big chunk of damage, but Delight in the front line here, tanking up a bunch of the damage.
You know what that was? That's cold diff. It gave them the confidence to go for that play, chunk out Doran. T1 are revitalized on the back of that small influx of gold. But they are trying to ward Hololive Esports away from the Baron. They're trying to force them out, get some poke down, but struggling against pressure. And I think a big thing is their T1 being down, their Tier 1 being down for T1, and Hololive's being up. Means it's very hard to get pressure around mid. They do land the root on a Peanut, but don't really get the follow-up right now.
Yeah. At this point in time, I mean, they're just trying to clear out as much vision as possible, utilize traps, utilize Jhin traps as well, and just try to slowly edge their way forward to this river. But Hololive Esports very far ahead, controlling the vision around it very well. And, you know, they're not going to start the Baron. They could, absolutely. I mean, they have double AD carry and Zyra. So if at any point they feel like they've got an angle, they could easily just start it up.
Yep.
But they're just baiting.
They're just waiting for the angle. And the thing is, this Corki is so strong. Zeka with 3 items, the rapid fire Triforce Manamune is very scary.
You're not allowed to approach him.
Yeah, will be super dangerous. Big spikes for Peanut with the Leandries, Rylai's.
All right, here's the moment.
AD. This is the angle they're going for.
They have the plan set up already. I mean, they're just getting it done. Peanut showed in the brush. They don't know it's starting. They don't have a trinket, and look at how fast it's burning. The T1, yes, they realize now, but can they get in position? Owner being zoned away by the Alistair. Keria desperate to try to steal it with the Q. It's not going to happen. Homolife Esports take the Baron for free.
Yep. Delight playing bodyguard so he can knock away Owner if needed, and there was like probably 7 million plants in the pit, so Owner throws a spear and it just hits one of the plants. Good move from Homolife Esports. They get the control, they get the Baron, and now with 2 minutes until Soul, Baron in pocket, they can get that inner tower mid and top probably of the back of this and just completely consolidate control of the map and take over. And T1 just won't really be able to do much to respond. They kind of need a pick, and they need it quickly. They need to find an angle, find someone who's overstepped from Homolife Esports, kill them, deny the Baron pressure, and then somehow sneak the Dragon. A lot of difficult to do things, but I think that is the win con right now for this T1 composition.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to happen. Homolife Esports, they've been so clean in terms of coming back in game 1, and then now in this game, just a lot of angles where they found so much value. T1 kind of handing them a lot of different plays under turrets and not exactly playing their best game. And Homolife Esports just handled it perfectly. They've sucked up all the gold off the map. They've gotten all the objectives except the grubs. They don't really care about the grubs because T1 are never really allowed to hit turrets, so it doesn't really offer them all too much.
And you know, it feels like a big factor as well is the fact that Homolife Esports, despite being given the opportunity to just run the draft back, said no, we can do better. And the advantage they've gotten over T1, the lack of engage from T1, the Jhin Braum not really providing that much value right now, the Lucian not doing anything really to the Corki in terms of pressure, has resulted in Homolife Esports being far further ahead than they were at any point really in the first game. Complete control right now. Keria being the one to try and walk up, puts the shield down but still getting poked out by these plants, and it's just so hard to contest space against a Zyra.
Yeah, because with how well Peanut is playing as well, like he's putting down plants forward in the face of T1, and if they ever really try to clear vision, he's always poking them down. And even just a little bit, you know, he's got slows on everything with Rylai's, he has Leandries, so he's doing damage, he's slowing them, they cannot approach, and he's poking them down. And now, with Mountain Soul about to hit, that is going to be taken by Zeka alone, and 3 members just pushing by themselves down on the bottom side. Homolife Esports don't even care. They know they can't be engaged on, even with Zeus holding Meganar. He just can't do anything.
Yeah, and the thing is, they use the Jhin ult to try and take Doran out and just end up doing about a third of Delight's health bar, and that's it. You know, there's a ward actually behind. You can see that control ward. T1's not even confident enough to like TP in for a flank angle. I'm really struggling to see the approach they can make. You know, I talked about pick potential. That's basically all they can do right now. Hoping a prayer on that. Alternatively, Burger flip Baron. I mean, not Baron, Elder. Burger flip Elder. I think that's the play. You know, hope that Ona gets a miracle steal.
You know, I did have a burger today.
Oh, did you?
I'll let you know that.
How very American of you.
You know, I just decided today's the day I'm just going to get a burger before the cast. Just kind of felt like it was the way to go. And I think you're right. It's the only way now for T1. You just got to burger flip it, get the spatula out, hope you land a spear, you get Owner in the pit, you find a way to get Elder and chip them away. But again, like, this is the first time Zeus has hit the turret in a long time, and he may pay for it. Actually, I think he's absolutely going to pay for it as he's just burning down. He doesn't do anything to Peanut except half his health, as now they're trying to engage on a Viper, but it's just so fast that the Braum ult is too slow to catch the MF. And now TP comes in from Doran just in case. And, you know, there's no objective at this point in time, but Homolife Esports just want to totally suffocate the map.
Yep, the engaged Braum, again, not the best. Not too good at taking down high mobile targets, and even though in terms of dashes, the MF doesn't have many, you can see Viper so hard to hit when you can just run back and forth with 60 extra movement speed than everyone else.
Yeah.
And with that massive shield,
The MF just feels so good.
it's so obnoxious.
It feels so good. Just as a pick. I mean, I know we had like 6 or 7 80 carry bans, which is why we get Jim versus MF. Like it's another year, but you know, I think it's pretty good. HLE Esports, they don't have Baron, they don't care. And a big spear is going to hit Doran. Also the root coming in, maybe the angle, but you know what? The wallets are just so gigantic. The knockup comes in on an owner and Doran lives. It's 2 kills, make it 3 for Vipers. HLE Esports smash them in their base, and they will take the 2-0 tonight.
Absolute decimation. Once again, HLE Esports find their angle. No hesitation. They close out the game in even more dominant fashion than their last matchup against T1. Just a crushing victory over their opponents. And honestly, this just fills me with so much confidence. If there is a team right now who could potentially challenge Gen G, HLE Esports is looking like that team.
Might just be. You know, they did face already in round 1, and Gen G took the 2-0, but HLE Esports are just powering up. They're getting stronger and stronger. They defeated T1 twice, and T1 definitely in kind of struggle street right now. This one looking much more dominant to the side of HLE Esports, but as you mentioned, you know, all this momentum, maybe it does lead to HLE Esports up against Gen G being a good match. That matchup, guys, let me just find it for you here, is...
Any find?
It is the last match of the season.
Oh my.
Match 90.
That's hype.
HLE Esports versus Gen G.
A lot of time to keep ramping up. You know, they're on a big win streak right now. Should be filling fans with confidence. Will be a question mark. You know, we've seen on live patch Tristana heavily nerfed. How will that change things? Obviously, it's a pick that's really big for Zeka, but to be honest, it's permanently banned at the moment, so perhaps not too many changes. And Delight, I'm going to be honest, over the course of this year so far, Delight has been hit or miss at times. His Alistair is just absurd, though. 8-0 after that game so far this season. And you got to beg the question, can you let him have it? Ever?
I mean, you asked about the Rakan ban in Game 1. He was very well known for being insane on Rakan, but as you mentioned, he's also just insane on Alistair. So what can you let him have? And this is where good teams really extend their lead in drafts, where it's like they can just play anything at an extremely high level. And it just becomes so oppressive to try to take anything away from HLE Esports. Doran's like, okay, I'll play the Renekton in this game. We're not going to let you play Renekton in Italy. And he gets so much value. He does so much. He gets the skill on a Faker. Yes, he goes down, but he's pulling carry out of the top side of the map. And yeah. And the game just went off the rails at this point.
Yeah, I think after this, it was kind of just boom. Delight getting this beautiful, the ult into Pulverize. Like, look how low Zeka is. That's such a tilter.
And then this.
We don't need to talk about it. We've talked about this twice. 2 times was too many.
And then Zeus trying to get whatever he can on the bottom side of the map, but Peanut's like, nope, not allowing you to do that either. And this is the last fight of the game.
Zeus had a rough series. Just punished so heavily by HLE. Really not giving him any space.
Nar. He's just saying Braum.
I love how the carrier was like in the middle of them, and they weren't focused him, they were focusing everyone else. And carrier's just like, can I plan him on your team?
Delight's shouting Braum too while the rest of the team is just dying.
Just an imposter.
Yeah. And Delight knew, nobody else did, because the Braum, unfortunately for Braum, did not matter. And Zeka, he got incredibly fed, but I have to say, I think Peanut's effect on the map and on this game, that would be my vote for this one. HLE Esports just kind of wrecked them in Game 2, and that was not a very close Saturday showdown.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that we had a close Game 1, and then Game 2, they adjusted, and they just sort of improved their advantage in draft, and then played so well. And T1 really felt like they sort of crumbled after that early game going wrong. And that came in with a strategy, we're going to win early, we're going to utilize in Italy. When that backfired, they just didn't really have an option.
T1 did not have many options today, as HLE Esports did take the 2-0. Let's hand it over to the space to see what they think about this.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Steer for the POG interview translation, joined by Doran and Peanut on the side of HLE Esports, who came out on top as the first winner of Round 2 Saturday Showdown. Congratulations. Thank you.
도란 선수 승리도 축하드리고요.
Doran,
데뷔 5주년도 진심으로
congrats on your win
축하드립니다.
and
네.
on your 5th anniversary since
네,
debut.
여쭤보겠습니다.
오늘
How do you feel?
말씀하셨다시피 또 데뷔 5주년이라서
Just like you said,
많은 분들이
today was my 5th anniversary, and a lot of people came here to cheer and celebrate with me. And being able to secure a 2-0 clean victory today makes me extra happy. And Peanut, you're second place in the POG standings. How does it feel to defeat T1? I feel like we did so much better. Our performance was a lot better than round 1 when we defeated T1. And being able to defeat T1 twice, I believe that we'll have even more confidence preparing for the playoffs.
많은 관심이 쏠렸었는데요. 부담감은 없으셨나요?
And it was a rematch after 8 days. So did you feel pressured at all? We were playing T1 back to back, and I believe everyone thought that today's match would be more important. And being able to win 2-0 without dropping a game is so meaningful.
경쟁에 있어서 또 굉장히 중요한
Peanut.
경기였습니다. 어떤 점을 가장 신경 써서 준비하셨을까요?
So with the standings, it was a very important match today. So what did you guys primarily focus on today? You know, today, instead of really caring about the game score, we were just thinking we need to win today. And just because we played them so recently, I believe that we were able to sort of think through what they tend to do in the drafting phase, and I think everything went really well today. And did you expect to carry with Jax today, Doran? When we were doing our draft meetings, we were considering that owner tends to utilize Nidalee a lot, and we ended up saying that Jax is a really good pick against that kind of comp. And your Jax stats are mind-blowing with 22 wins and 3 losses. And against Zeus, you won 6 out of 8 times. And that's just how good at Jax you are. So how did you manage to take Renekton down? The 1v1 wasn't very easy, but during when I was level 4, I think being able to win laning phase after that actually made the game go a lot smoother and it just snowballed. And in game 1, your early game went beautifully with Jax. From first blood to 5 kills in a row. What do you think enabled you to scale so well? Like this moment, the first replay was just so huge, and the second replay and the second and third kills were really just thanks to my teammates just setting up the kills for me. Were you nervous at the first kill? Yeah, I was so happy. And so Peanut, what do you think of your Jax who carried? You know, as a Vi, I can't really influence top lane, but being able to just rely on my Doran beating the Renekton actually made the game so much easier for me too. And Peanut, yes, you played Vi. And in game 2, you picked your first Zyra of your career. So, is this a pick that you've been practicing and grinding for this moment? You know, ever since I saw Canyon play Zyra, I have been preparing for this pick. But all this time, I don't think it was a good pick in the drafts in the past. So today, yeah, I was actually very ready to pick Zyra, and it was a great moment. And from the analyst stats, we saw how good the Zyra's early pathing was. And it was... You had to make a decision in this next replay. So you could have chosen between counter jungling or ganking mid. So what led you to mid lane? No, Corki actually is more influenced by this matchup. So I knew that enabling my Corki to win the lane would impact the game in the end overall. So I decided decided to go
자,
with
도란
that.
선수 오늘 데뷔 5주년이기도 하고요. 그리고 또
Doran, today is your 5th anniversary. Thank you so much for the gift. We had some egg bread.
정말 열정적으로 응원해 주신 팬분들께 한마디 안 할 수 없잖아요.
And so there are so many fans out there who have been supporting you for the last 5
5주년이라서
years. So any shout out to them?
저희 에이전시 측에서 또 5주년 기념 생일 그 빵을
You know,
또 돌렸는데
from my agency,
감사드리고요. 그리고
They actually brought the egg bread to
5주년,
celebrate my
앞으로 쭉쭉
anniversary. So
항상 좋은
thank you for that.
경기력으로 보답하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
And I want to always repay my fans with a good gameplay and performance. So thank you so much for all the support.
위해서 연승을 이어가고 싶으실 텐데요. 피너 선수 각오 한마디 들어보겠습니다.
And now that you secured your 5th consecutive win, you'll be up against Kwangdong Freakflex. So what is your resolution? Although we won and defeated T1, there are so many strong teams left that we need to beat. So we won't let our guards down, and we will maintain our good form and make it all the way to the playoffs.
축하드립니다. 인터뷰 고맙습니다.
And that's the end of the interview from Doran and Peanut, and back to the space. Thank you.